to Miami Today. Joining us now is Elizabeth Zimmerman from Miami University. Ms. Zimmerman is a pre-law advisor here at Miami, and she graduated from Case Western Reserve University Law School. Welcome, Ms. Zimmerman.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, since in your job you do advising for undergraduates, could you tell us a little about your experience as an undergraduate, and I guess a little bit about how you actually got into law yourself?
Okay. I attended Case Western Reserve as an undergrad and majored in economics. I had decided long before I got to undergrad, though, to pursue a career in law. So that was really something that was already done.
How did you decide to go into law?
In about the 7th grade, I read To Kill a Mockingbird. And I said, you know what, there need to be some people in the world who look out for those who can't look out for themselves.
So people like Atticus Finch, they really inspired your interest in law then.
It did, yes.
Yeah, what are some skills that you feel that as a child you developed, or maybe even in college that you developed, that really helped prepare you for law school?
Well, we talk about in the pre-law program a set of skills. One of them is oral communication, the ability to speak in front of a group or in public. We also speak about written communication, the ability to take information, synthesize it, and then to create a product from it. We also talk about a lot of soft skills. In fact, we are creating a class right now for sophomores. So when you all get to your sophomore year, think about this class. This is a class about the skills for lawyers. These are the things like negotiation. They're the things like client relationships. They're the things like stress management. How do I keep all of this going without getting myself all worked up? Those sorts of soft skills that really you can't take a class on.
What are some majors? I know you mentioned that you studied economics as an undergrad, and I myself am actually looking into economics as well. And I met so many people from the Farmer School of Business who introduced me to that program, and also wonderful economics professors here. But what are some other majors if people aren't interested in economics? What can they go into?
To go to law school, the field is really wide open. You are able to major in anything really that you like, and generally we recommend to students to find something that you like and that you can excel at, and to go ahead and to pursue that.
So if someone were to study engineering, but would law school even be a possibility for them?
Absolutely. One of my best friends, actually was my husband's roommate at the time, went to law school with me with an engineering degree, undergrad.
Oh wow. So what were some qualities that the engineering student or anyone who wants to apply to law school would have? I know you mentioned some things like negotiation or critical thinking skills. What are some things that you look for when a student comes to you?
We look for a rigorous academic experience, wherever that comes from. If it comes from an engineering program, if it comes from a media program, if it comes from an English program or political science, or any other major that might be out there.
Okay. And how important do you think the law school SAT is in admissions to law school?
Well, law schools think it's very important. So we generally recommend folks prepare for it in some way, either taking a prep class, a paid prep class, or finding some other method to actually study and prepare for that test.
Do Miami University students have options to engage in these different classes, and what are they?
Miami is offering an LSAT prep class in the spring, which sets juniors up to take the LSAT in June, which we think that's probably about the best time to take the LSAT. So we're offering that right here on campus. You don't have to go anywhere, don't have to find anything else, and we're offering it at a significant discount to what you might pay outside.
Okay. Yep.
So a question on a more personal level, you seem to have a passion for law. What made you decide to go into what you're currently doing instead of becoming something like a corporate lawyer or something like that?
Both the program director and I practiced law for quite a period of time. I practiced for about 15 years. And so there is a certain amount of I've done that. Okay. And I'm in a period of my life where I'd like to give back, where I'd like to encourage others to go on to law school and to do some wonderful things in the world.
Do you think that work experiences as an undergrad or maybe post-graduation would help for the law school admissions process?
Absolutely.
And if so, what kind of work experiences do you encourage?
I generally say, go ahead and find something that you might enjoy and that you might be in an area of interest to you. Sometimes folks, it's not so much their work experience, because maybe they're working waiting tables. That is a very good thing to put on your law school application. but maybe they have an interest in some sort of volunteer organizations. It's going to also be a benefit to their application.
Yeah, and I guess finally, the elephant in the room is that in a world where people will say, you know, going to law school in this time, at this time in our time actually, with the recessions and financial crises, going to law school may not be the most financially sound option for undergrad students after they graduate. What do you have to say in response to that?
There has been a lot of discussion about this particular issue out there. Been a lot of books written, things said. Here's what I think. Right now, we can take a picture of the legal climate right now, what jobs are available, and there's been a little bit of a decrease. But right now, class sizes in law schools are shrinking. And so when all of you, 7 years from now, when all of you are getting out of law school, that market's going to be very, very different. If these law school classes continue to shrink, jobs should be really plentiful at that time. So looking ahead, we can't forecast the future, but looking ahead, we can say, yes, it can be a very positive outlook for you.
Yeah, Ms. Zimmerman, I know you have a very busy schedule, so thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
Yes, and I'm Connor Greenwood.
And I'm George Liu.
And thanks for joining us, and see you next week.